Hey guys. Oh, here we go. Waiting for the clock to start. Hello, YouTube. This is Wendy Lou with Parenting Through Ascension. Welcome. If you've never watched my videos before, welcome. Welcome to the Insane Asylum. This is my office, my bedroom, where I have been doing my videos for the past few months. I had an office in our house, and our oldest, we have 4 boys, ages 23 down to 8, and the oldest, who'd been on his own for 5 years, is going through some big transitions and has moved back in with us. And so I lost my office, which is fine. And my hair is ridiculous. This is shower and climb back in bed hair. I wanted to talk about, I don't even know. I just knew I needed to make a video. So I got super cracked open today. And I guess, per the title of the video, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Because what I thought it was isn't what it was, right? Like, I think everybody's had that happen. Seriously, you guys, I apologize. I'm sorry. This is, for those of you who don't know me intimately, I've been growing my hair for 3 years, and I think I'm going to do another at least 6 months, and I'm getting dreads. It's something I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to try. If I hate them, I hate them. At least I tried it. But I'm really excited. But I've just been growing it, and it's just out of control. But thanks to Deanna, who gave me a trim recently, because I know she tries to watch my videos. So I appreciate that, Deanna. And I love you, and it was really cool hanging out at your house. So anyway, I felt off today. Guys, I apologize. I'm just like white as a sheet, and I've been in bed a lot today. But this is the raw me. Welcome. And so I didn't feel right. And actually, the interesting thing is just a few days ago, and my friend Angie, Pathway, oh my God, I can't think, Angie, I apologize. I'll say it in a minute. Life Purpose Pathfinder is her Facebook page. Life Purpose Pathfinder. Anyway, Angie, find her on Facebook. Dear friend and soul sister of mine, and we were talking the other day, or I was telling her that I had an experience while I was meditating. This was 2 days ago, and then I had to, during the meditation, I just got really tired, and I focused on. It was the first time I'd meditated, really kind of focusing on nothing but connecting to source and raising my vibration. And so I remember at one point I was chanting, I'm a pillar of light, I'm a pillar of light. And I was just focusing on bringing that light in and becoming a pillar of light. And all of a sudden I got really tired, and it was almost like I heard, when I say I heard, really I just sense things. I get messages. I don't actually audibly hear something, but in my head came, you need to try to sleep. And so I was listening to Audio Frequency by John Bass Live. Check him out. Please check him out on Facebook. I was listening to one of the hour-long ones that he's made for me for, I believe it was Higher Heart Empowerment. Beautiful. It's really my higher heart has like been fluttering ever since I started listening to it. And so I was listening to that, and I didn't turn it off, but I laid down and tried to sleep while I was still listening to it. And I did. I fell asleep hard. I fell asleep really hard. And when I was awakened then by this sensation that something big had opened up or come into my energy, something good. But it was such a profound, it was like this whoosh feeling. And that doesn't even come close to describing it. But, and I've had it happen before, but this was the biggest it's ever happened. And talking to Angie, I told her exactly what happened, how it felt, and she tuned in, which we do for each other a lot, which I love. And she said, sorry, I'm a mess, y'all. Freaking mess. And she tuned in and she said, you just brought in this huge, like shitload of new codes into for the whole planet. And I was like, yeah, that resonated because I was like, it felt much bigger than me, right? And she was like, holy crap, like you brought this in with you when you were born, which would explain a lot. Guys, seriously, I was born premature, underweight, and I wasn't breathing. I did not want to be here from minute one. I was like, fuck this shit as a newborn. But she said, you've been carrying this since birth, just waiting for the right time. And I said, yeah, well, I don't think I could have handled that before the other day. Seriously, like 10 years ago, it would have killed me probably. It would have sent me to the loony bin. And so I had that experience, and then she's like, and then I had gone to bed. We were messaging back and forth, and I had gone to bed, and then I get a message from her that says, I think you should go to bed because this was really big. I was like, already there, sister, way ahead of you. And so I did, but I've not been able to sleep really well the last few nights. I wake up and my body is so physically kind of uneasy, just physically. No, like in my brain, I'm like, I would love to sleep right now. Like, let's do this. I've got nothing, like I can clear my head enough to sleep, but my body was like, nope, something will not let me sleep. And so I woke up today feeling really off, really off, and just wanted to be in here in my room alone. I kind of wanted everybody to just leave me alone, which of course with 4 kids does not happen. We do have 1 at college now, so 3 in the house. It just doesn't happen. They don't, moms, raise your hand. This happens to everybody. My kids will walk past my husband, who is in the kitchen, will come in here, literally wake me up from a nap if I'm napping, to ask me to get them something out of the kitchen. I mean, this is motherhood, right? And of course, we've created this with our supermom syndrome. I call it SMS, supermom syndrome. We've created it, and but they just don't leave me alone. And so I'm healing that, working on that, releasing that. But I just needed to be in here alone. And my husband, they had activities today, the kids, we homeschool. And so we have a great co-op, and we signed them up for stuff. And my husband this morning said, I can do all the running today if you need a day. And I was like, yes. I was like, okay, I just got permission to hibernate today, which I really needed to do. And so I ended up deciding to go on my walk, which I try to walk every day. But it's still like friggin' 90 degrees here, by noon. But today it was only 80 at noon. And so at noon I went and walked, and it was still hot because I walk for a whole hour. I power walk. And that's my kind of my physical activity. That's my Zen, my nature time, my sun. I kind of wrap it all in one package, because most of the rest of my day is very sedentary. I do these videos, I write, I read, I crochet, I meditate, and I intuit new blends for essential oils. I mean, it's very sedentary. So I make sure that I get out in it for an hour and do all this stuff. And so I did that, and I like cried the whole walk, like off and on. I'd cried, think about something and start crying, and then I'd be able to stop, or then it would run its course and I'd stop, and then 2 minutes later I'd be crying again. And I'm like, well, this is really super fun. And actually it's okay. Out here where I live there are people, but it's not like anybody could tell I was crying. We're way out in the country, and out in the boonies, and I got a hair in my face. By a reservoir, and so it's pretty secluded and it's nice. And so I got that, and I came home, and I think my husband then left with the kids for activities, and I got in the shower, and I was crying in the shower. I mean, something really cracked me open. But I had gotten on Facebook. That's right, before I showered, I got on Facebook. And you know how all of our relationships are on Facebook, right? Anybody who doesn't live in our house, the relationship is primarily Facebook. And there are days where I'm like, I hate that so much. I hate it so much. I miss actual people, and at the same time, I can't go to the mall because I can't stand people, that's not true. I can't, sometimes I don't have the energy to keep their energy out of my field. And so anyway, so I had gotten on Facebook, and there was a post from a lovely young woman, and she's beautiful and I love her. We became friends through mutual friends. Her posts don't resonate with me, and that's fine. She's a totally different age group. She's, she's just on a different journey than me. And so her posts have not really resonated with me. And she's going, we're all healing, right? And just like I do, she sometimes puts, just venting posts or whatever. And she had vented today about something that she felt very strongly about. And I got triggered. I got triggered by the dumbest, this is my stuff. And I knew it was my stuff. And I had put a comment in there. And I don't regret doing that because I wasn't mean or anything. I didn't attack her. I was just like, and so here's in a nutshell, this is what it's about. And I really hope that this doesn't offend anyone, but honestly, I can't give a shit about that. This is my journey. So clearly I'm white. Clearly. I mean, I'm really more of a, honey, peachy color. I'm not white, but I'm a white girl. I'm pretty incredibly white, as a matter of fact. I mean, Swedish, British. There's some Sicilian in there and some Celtic, but the Celtics were even whiter with their red hair and their white skin. So I'm pretty white. And I have had friends in the past that I lost who were also white, married to Black men, and their children were gorgeous, gorgeous children, were half Black, half white. Fabulous. Well, I remember posting on one of their, or commenting on one of their posts, because they were both up in arms about something, and it gets to the point where we kind of blame entire races, right? We blame entire groups of people for something that one person or two people or even 1,000 people did. We blame everybody with that skin color, everybody with that personality trait, whatever. And it had gotten to the point where they are both white. And they were blaming every white person on the planet. It was our fault, for whatever they were up in arms about that day. And they tended to be up in arms about something every day, if you know anybody like that. Yeah. And they would feed off each other. They're like besties. And so they would feed off each other. And I commented, I am so fucking sick of being made to feel like I have to apologize for being white. And they both unfriended and blocked me, like within a minute. And I got a message before one of them blocked me. Good. I'm glad you saw my comment. I'm sick of it. Like, yes, I chose to be white in this life. We all chose what we are. I've never done racist things toward intentionally. And yes, I say intentionally. I don't get into that. What is it? White privilege. I do not focus on that term at all. That term is so low vibe. Oh, my connection is unstable. Oh, sure, because I'm talking about easy stuff. I'm just going to keep going. It says it's not connected, but my clock is still going. Okay, hopefully that didn't cut out on me. But anyway, so I had commented, and this is me being totally honest and raw with you guys. Again, not intended to offend anyone. I'm not one of those people that says I don't see color. I see color. And if you've watched any of my videos or any other of my videos, go back a ways. I did a couple on racism because I know for a fact that I have been many other colors. I've been a man in other lives. We've all run the gamut. And I have always been envious of, they say women of color, which honestly, that kind of triggers me too. Why am I left out of that? I'm not colorless. So that triggers me. So again, more for me to heal, right? More for me to heal, because clearly there's something there. And I'm pretty sure it's societal. It's part of the matrix that's crumbling. I know that. So anyway, this gal today had posted, she was venting, and she has every right to do that on her own page. And I had commented and I said, please be careful because she had said, all right, white people, stop, blah, blah, blah. She was saying, stop doing something. And I was like, what did I do? Like, why am I being, first of all, this was one group that she was complaining about. She'd been invited to join a group. And then it turned into, all right, white people, stop doing. And I was like, So let's turn the tables for a second. Imagine if I got on Facebook and started this venting post, which I'm everybody deserves to put their pain out there to get validation. We all need that sometimes. I absolutely understand that, and I've done it myself many times. Totally guilty of. Imagine if my post included a line that said, "All right, Black people, stop blah 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 doing this." Can you imagine how many people would unfriend me? Because I'm not allowed to say that because I'm white. And so I got triggered and I said, please don't, like, I didn't do this to you. Why did this turn into all white people? Like, I have many, many friends of many different colors. And that, I don't know if it was the commenting or if it was just the bringing awareness to it. But boy, I felt like I was healing or shedding this huge layer that I hope. No, I think it was. Okay, I'm getting that it was. It was this collective sadness about the way we've treated each other. Since the beginning, right? Since our lives started to be fucked with, right? Since we were interrupted in our true intention of why we were here, right? We were supposed to, and I've said this in many videos before, we were intended to be these magical beings who lived 1,000 years or more and literally ascended in one lifetime. That was the intent of our race being created. And then I believe that, then the good guys then left and were like, oh, it's all good. And the bad guys came in and interrupted that. And so I'm like, oh, no, we can't allow that. We'll cut their lives down to 60 to 100 max, a tenth of what we're supposed to. And we'll make it take millions of years for them to ascend and evolve. But I was cracked open by that whole experience. And actually, she did comment on my comment. She actually loved my comment, which was very lovely of her. And like I said, I wasn't mean. I just was like, this, and I admitted, I said, I admit I'm triggered by this, and this is why, which really is, I can post on my own. And I tell people that all the time, and I don't always follow my own advice, right? I could have just posted on my own page. But I did what I did. I commented on her post. And I said, I don't, triggered me, and this is why. Because since birth, we're conditioned to believe somewhere deep down in us, right? The programming is there that because we're white, we're automatically racist. And I have resisted the programming my whole life. Like I've never bought it. I've never believed it. I've never lived that way. But it's still there. Like, even as I say that, it's like something is tugging at me in there. And I know I released a lot of it today. Just was a lot of release, but a lot of it went today. And I just got like anger. I was so angry. Because I'm like, why would I choose to be white? There are lots of reasons, right? But I guess this is one of the ways I wanted to grow is, trying to, and I'm helping, I'm part of this collective helping heal, helping heal all this pain we've caused each other that, we were manipulated to do so, right? We were made to believe that any difference between us was a reason to have conflict, right? Oh, well, you have brown hair and you have blonde hair. Oh, you have brown eyes, you have blue eyes. I mean, that's, Hitler even was still on that kick, right? Hitler, who was brown hair, brown eyed, really, the Aryan nation, blonde hair, blue eyes, it makes it's never made any sense to me. And so, but it's just been programmed into us to find ways to hate each other. And it's ridiculous. And I'm not saying anything about this young gal. Her post was absolutely, justified as on her own page. We've got every right to put whatever we want on our own pages, right? I actually am grateful that it cracked me open the way it did, because I knew something was coming to the surface and I needed something to go so I could get it out. And I really did today. In fact, I almost did I can't because I don't have, YouTube 6 months ago or so took away the ability to do lives on the phone app. on the mobile app unless you have 1,000 subscribers or more. And I had been doing all these lives on my walks every day, and I loved doing that because I could be my brain really kind of goes when I'm walking. It's zen. It helped, I can really focus, and things just come into my head, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do a live. And of course, I've done many times, have just recorded on my phone. And I'm telling you, there are times when I have not ever been able to get those videos to upload. It takes 3 days. Our internet is not the best out here in the middle of nowhere, but it takes for friggin' ever, and it will time out every time, and I can't get them to load. So I've stopped doing it that way. And so I'm not able to do lives anymore, but I was on my walk this morning, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just get on. I wish I could just get on YouTube and do a live. And of course, I do them private before I, make them public, because sometimes I have word vomit that nobody wants to hear, or that I just don't want out there yet for whatever reason. And so I always do them private first, and then when I'm done, I'm like, okay, is that okay? Is that okay to make public? And then I do. And some I've not. Some I've actually deleted. And so I just wanted to mention that's what I've been going through today. And again, there's no judgment on anybody about any of this. We had a contract, clearly. This gal and I, her to trigger me enough to help me crack open, to heal this, to release this. And there's no, again, I'll never say I don't see color. I think that's stupid. That's ridiculous. Why would you? I love all the differences. And even among white people, our skin color is a million different shades and tones. And again, I'm not like, I've never been white. I'm kind of a golden, like yellowish undertones, honey color. So not white. And I've never met anybody who's actually black, but I have met some gorgeous, what do they call them? Nubian princesses. And like I said, I'm envious. I've always been envious because I'm just white, right? Like, even though I had that programming in me to be racist, mine kind of did the flip where I was like, God, I wish, like, I literally thought, I wish and I shouldn't say that. I mean, I have thought that. I'll just say it. I've thought that I wish I was black, or I wish I was a more exotic flavor, if you will, in this life. And I know I have been. So that's, before I realized that I've lived all these lives, I used to think that, and I'm like, God, I wish I was. I just felt like literally the term just came, white noise. I literally felt like white noise in this world, like invisible, because I'm just white, which is, it's silly, whatever. It's going to come down to, color has absolutely nothing to do with anything, right? Of what we're going through, the color of our skin, where we were born. I mean, our actual roots in this biological makeup, like this body, the roots of this body, of my parents, physical bodies, and their parents. There are no, it's all white. It's all white people. And then there's a Celtic branch that, they're even whiter than white, with their red hair and everything. And so this heritage in this life, and I grew up, I'll be honest with you, I grew up in Northwest Minnesota. I didn't see a black person in real life until I was a teenager. And so, it's not like I went, it's not like I turned my nose up. I was like fascinated, right? And I was a teenager. I think that's okay. I think that's okay to be fascinated. I wasn't, there was no, like, I'm better than you because I'm white thoughts ever. I was always like, ooh. And then I found out years after high school that one of my brother's friends, who happened to be black, wanted to ask me out while I was already, I believe at the time I was already with my husband. I think we were already dating. But I was like, oh, that, I would have said yes had I been single, but my heart was already taken. But yeah, so I didn't grow up with anything, and all white, like not even any Asian, Hispanic, nothing in Northwest Minnesota. Now it's different. There are more, it's more of a, it's more of a melting pot up there now. But when I was growing up in a small town, 8,000 people, all white people. So, and this, of course, is not an excuse or a reason for anything. I'm just saying this is my experience. I couldn't wait to get out into the world. And I've lived in South Korea where, I'm 5'10", I'm an Amazon. In South Korea, the Koreans are the shortest of the Asians, if you didn't know that. They're so tiny that my oldest, the 23-year-old, when we were there, he was, what was he, 5'6", 7", 5'6" and 7". We were there 2.5 years. He was 5'6" and 7", and we had a cute little cleaning lady who, that was just one of the things she did. No judgment. I'm not gonna try to justify it to anybody, but it was just one of the things she did. Is she got a little ajima to come and clean your apartment, and they, our money back then was worth a lot to them, and so we were happy to pay this sweet little woman to come and clean. And boy, they clean. I mean, boy, they find things you didn't even know were dirty, and they clean them. But she was the same height as my 7-year-old. That's how little. I mean, they're little, teeny tiny people. And here's my husband, who's 6'3", and I'm 5'10". And we'd go ride the subway places, and he'd have the now 18-year-old who's at college. He'd have the baby who was blonde hair, green eyes in the backpack carrier. So his head would be even above my husband's. So we were easy to spot. Let me tell you, we were easy to spot. But it was such a great experience and really allowed us to, to understand these other ways of living that we had no idea. Like, I'd never lived out of the country, and then I'm living in South Korea, and I'm like, where the hell? And so it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening, and it was just really cool. And I'd go back in a heartbeat for a visit. The only reason I wouldn't live there is because it's just not home for me. But yeah, I would go back in a heartbeat and on a vacation or whatever, because I know where to go. And then, we lived in Germany, where we fit right in. So, larger white people. And our last name's Herman. So we fit right in. Anyway, I'm babbling. I apologize if you're still listening and you're bored out of your mind. I really just wanted to share the release that I had today. And then I had a beautiful Reiki session, a group Reiki session with Corey McKinnon. If you don't know him, his YouTube channel is Thought Soldiers. Find him. He is amazing. His messages just resonate deeply with me. And I love that this whole thing spans age. I know we're in these groups supposedly, right? Like I'm in the first wave, that they say. And of course, I don't like labels, but sometimes we need them to describe easily what we're trying to convey. And so I'm in this first wave because of my age. I was born in 1970. And so, oh, well, you're in the first wave. Okay. And I feel that resonates with me. But when I listen to Corey, who's much younger, he could be my kid. That's how much younger he is than me. And his videos resonate. I always go, man, like, he's not even like, I think Corey has said he himself is in the second wave. And a lot of people his age are second wavers. But so much of what he says, nearly everything of what he says, just resonates. And we've been very in sync with feeling the collective energies and everything. So Thought Soldiers, find him. He does these amazing Reiki circles where kidding, get 4 hours, kale chips, 4 hours of Reiki in a month, and a spot in his Reiki box for $50 for the whole month. I mean, you would pay more than that for one session, right, with somebody. And I've done 2 of his Reiki circles now, and they're amazing. They're just as, they're just as intense and effective as a one-on-one. So anyway, look him up and seek those out, because he's wonderful. But so I did that tonight too. And I was like, man, I'm just kind of loading up because I needed to bring in the light after being cracked open and letting all that out. Sometimes we forget to fill that space, right? And so Corey, I had remembered that it was today, and I was a little late, but I found the email and got in there, and I was like, right when he was, having everybody visualize the golden ball in your solar and growing it for your energy bubble. And I was like, that's what I need. I need to bring in the light. I need to, expand my bubble. So, this racism shit is really big. It's huge. It was part of our programming from the beginning. Originally it wasn't just, it tends to be so much white versus black. And of course it's not just, that. I mean, there's a lot of, racism with every community. There's something going on, and again, it's just part of the old matrix programming that we have already dismantled. We have to let it blow away in the wind. We have to let it go. And so much of the collective, the people who aren't awakened yet, or are just now starting to awaken and don't know what's going on, that's when we hold on tighter, right? Because all of a sudden you realize that the world is not the place you thought it was, and you hold on. You hold on to what you knew, you hold on to what was familiar. And so a big part of the collective that are just starting to awaken are holding on even tighter to that old reality. That's It's already gone, you guys, where our collective consciousness is keeping it going because it was all we knew. It was familiar. And I'm talking all we knew for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, and maybe even longer. Okay. So it's not even this lifetime, like it's in our DNA, right? We were born with this as part of our makeup, that, okay, we're in this matrix, and this is how you behave, and this is how you operate. Well, I was abruptly disconnected from the matrix about 6 years ago, and it's taken me 6 years to get to this point. But again, I'm first wave, and the whole point of me having gone through this is so that I can turn around and help others and make it easier for them. And it's going to be easier anyway, but I am here to make it even easier because, the first waivers chose to do this the hard way so that no one else would have to. Okay. So, and I can say that now, Angie and I joke about this. We want to get t-shirts to say you're welcome, and just go out in public and just be like, they have no idea what we've done, right? What we've released collectively and what we've brought to the world. Like I said, I was meditating the other day, and I've just started chanting, I am a pillar of light. And I don't even know why I was chanting that, except for the fact that I am a pillar of light. And so are you. I can't think of anything else. I just don't want to get off. I guess I needed to talk to somebody. So I'm talking to YouTube. All right. So we're healing this. We're healing this. We're doing it. It's not something in the future. We're absolutely doing it. And the fact that I got triggered today was beautiful and fabulous, and it cracked me open, and I was able to release that. And I am grateful to this young lady and to everybody who has served to help me grow. She was one of my guides. She was literally one of my guides in this life. And I barely know her. Like I said, we're just friends on Facebook. We've never actually really conversed, but and that's fine. I think this was at least one of the things that we were meant to do in our relationship. So it's all good. It's all good. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of released the need to read her comment back because I feel like it won't serve me doing that. Because I do feel like, she was triggered by my being triggered. And so I'm not even going to go and read it. And my curiosity was driving me crazy, trying to rest earlier. And I was like, I just got to let that go. And so I did a visualization and I let it go. I actually I think I gave it to Gabriel or Michael usually, but Gabriel's coming back to me lately. And so I let it go, the curiosity of it. And I don't need to know right now because I don't think it would serve either one of us. And it would and not that I don't know why it says that. I'm just making sure my internet's still going. Not that I wouldn't want to be triggered anymore, but maybe not today. I'm pretty tired from already releasing so much of this whole crap. So just know that the old matrix has been turned off. It was turned off a long time ago, but it's actually been dismantled. We're just cleaning up the debris. Now we're just sweeping. We're just sweeping it up. The dust that's left. And of course, it was always an illusion, but at the same time, it was a real construct. This matrix was created by the AI, the artificial intelligence, by the non-organic beings. And so, it really was an actual thing, an actual physical thing that has been dismantled. The energetic part is the part that now we're having to work on. Okay. And that is within each of us. As we heal, we will we will dismantle that as well. We will let that fall away. We don't need to necessarily confront everything and heal everything, and because it's not all ours. Very little of it is actually yours personally, right? It's so much collective stuff that really all we need to focus on right now is keeping our vibration high. Meditating every day and just focusing on, like, I'm just going to focus on being a pillar of light because that worked really well for me. And however many times I can crack myself open, however many times I need to crack myself open, I'll do it. And so we just need to focus on raising our vibration and this energetic matrix that that the collective that's just waking up are the ones holding on to it for dear life, right? Because they don't know anything else. They're afraid. They're afraid. They're starting to see the world for what it is, and that there are actually bad people, and everybody's playing a role. But on our level, there are actually people who have sought to harm us long term. Like, they were definitely in it for the long game. They don't, want us to know how magical we are. And so they're just realizing this, and they're holding on to their old reality for dear life. And so we're here. We're here to give them hope, to hold them up, to hold space for them, to send them love, to support them, and to offer our modalities. Like, I do Reiki, I do energy readings, I do card readings. We're here to offer these things for them, to help them make this journey quicker and easier than it was for us. So, all right, I think I've said that 1,000 times, so I will let you guys go. If you made it through the whole thing, I love you. Thank you so much for making it through the whole thing. This was my day. This is what I did today. I haven't left my room much, but my husband is fabulous and took care of everything that needed to be taken care of. So, and they're still out actually at a play dress rehearsal. So it's nice and quiet, except for my 23-year-old's YouTube that I can hear. But anyway, it's all good. Life is good. And the last few days, I've seen a lot of things crumbling, feeling like things are falling apart, which now I know is always a good sign. Let things fall apart. The things that are falling apart are the things that need to fall apart, to be rebuilt, or to just fall away and never to be seen again. So let it happen. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much. If you have found me by accident, and man, seriously, if you watch this whole boring video, I think you'll actually like my other ones because they're much more exciting. But go ahead and like and subscribe, hit the bell. I'd love to get to 1,000 to be able to do lives on my phone again, but whatever, this is working for me too. And I truly am not doing this. I have done a lot of work releasing the ego on this. I truly am not doing this just to see how many subscribers I can get. I just needed to have an outlet to share what I was going through and what I've learned. See, there goes my throat. That's always a truth, that I'm speaking the truth when my throat kind of goes crazy. So I really have released most of that, of needing subscribers and always checking the numbers and why. And, I have days where I lose a few subscribers, and it used to make me really sad and make me wonder why, like, what would make you go in and literally unsubscribe from me? Like, I'm fabulous. I'm adorable. But, so yeah, I don't know. I've released a lot of that. I don't need subscribers. I honestly, what needs to happen is YouTube needs to change their stinking rules back to letting us all do lives on the mobile app. So then that'll solve the problem. So then I don't have to worry about it. So there. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to share if you're going through something similar. If you feel like you're helping release this collective stuff too, comment. I love to read comments. I try to reply to all of them. And like I said, if you've hit on me by accident and you check out my other videos that might be more exciting, maybe a shorter one. And if it resonates, like and subscribe. That'd be cool. And share, just in case there's a little nugget of wisdom that someone might benefit from. So again, this is Wendy Lou with Parenting Through Ascension. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.